What if everything you think you know about aging and vitality is wrong, and the key to unlocking lasting health, confidence, and sexual power is hiding in a part of your body you've likely ignored for decades? Most men won't talk about it. Many don't even know it's happening. But deep within your body lies a tiny, silent force that can either be your greatest ally or the ticking time bomb, quietly stealing your energy, joy, and masculinity. And here's the truth. No one tells you. The way you live today, your everyday habits, your most private rituals, even what you ignore, could determine whether you thrive in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, or silently deteriorate without warning signs until it's too late. This isn't fear-mongering, it's empowerment. And it starts with understanding one crucial piece of your biology, the prostate. A small gland, often dismissed. But it's more powerful than you think, because this tiny organ doesn't just influence your physical health, it touches your emotions, your sex drive, your sense of control, and even how young you feel, no matter your age. So ask yourself this: are you paying attention to what your body has been trying to tell you? Are you prepared to hear what most men wish they'd known sooner? If you're over 50, this may be the most important health conversation you'll ever have. But even if you're younger, don't scroll away. Because what you learn today could give you a massive advantage tomorrow, one that most men will never have. This isn't just another talk about staying healthy. We're diving deep into the hidden link between prostate health, longevity, energy, and your emotional strength as a man. By the time you finish this, you'll not only understand how your prostate affects everything from your hormones to your happiness, but you'll walk away with real, practical steps to take back control of your vitality. And here's the twist that will surprise you. One of the most powerful ways to protect your prostate is something you're probably already doing, just not with the right mindset or frequency. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to turn a once taboo act into a daily habit that rewires your biology, boosts your confidence, and may even help prevent one of the most common cancers affecting men worldwide. Let's break the silence, smash the shame, and unlock the truth that could change the way you age, starting right now. Stay with me through the end of this exploration. We'll dive into practical, life-enhancing tools, including nutritional strategies, physical habits, and even the surprising science-backed benefits of regular ejaculation. These aren't just fleeting tips. They're empowering steps you can take to preserve not only your prostate, but your overall vitality and joy in living. Together, we will uncover powerful insights that go far beyond biology. This is a conversation about reclaiming your health, your inner fire, and honoring the remarkable path you're on as a man in today's world. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you to click that button and ring the bell to stay connected to the latest content that speaks to your journey. I also genuinely want to hear from you. If today's topic resonates, comment a 1 below. If not, feel free to leave a 0. Your feedback helps shape content that matters to you and your well-being. Now let's begin. As I've said before, this conversation speaks most directly to those over the age of 50, a pivotal stage in life when the body starts speaking in whispers, asking for more deliberate care. The prostate, in particular, assumes a newfound relevance at this time, not just physically, but symbolically. It becomes a focal point of vitality, a call to action, and a mirror reflecting the choices we make daily. This isn't only a time of physical transition, it's a time of emotional awakening, a chance to embrace practices that support a thriving future. That said, if you are younger and find yourself here, seeking knowledge and empowerment, welcome. This space is yours as much as anyone's. Here, we treat conversations about health and sexuality with the dignity, depth, and respect they deserve. These are not shallow topics. They are at the core of how we experience joy, intimacy, and our own sense of worth across every season of life. Let's begin with the prostate itself, an organ too often misunderstood or dismissed until issues arise. This small, walnut-sized gland might be tucked away quietly beneath the bladder, but its influence spans the entire spectrum of male health. It's not just a cog in the reproductive machine. It is, quite literally, a gatekeeper of vitality. When functioning optimally, it supports everything from urinary control to sexual performance. But when neglected, it can become a silent disruptor, leading to discomfort, distress, and in some cases, long-term complications. Previously, we've touched on the often underappreciated benefits of Masturbation, not just as a sexual release, but as a therapeutic practice that plays a vital role in maintaining prostate function. Today, we're going deeper. What truly happens when the prostate is deprived of regular care? What unfolds within this gland when it is not engaged or stimulated regularly? The prostate is not a passive organ. It thrives on activity. Ejaculation, whether through sex or masturbation, triggers a complex yet beautifully synchronized sequence of events. It begins with the release of prostatic fluid, but that's only the surface. Beneath that lies a series of muscular contractions in the pelvic region, an internal pump, if you will, that clears the ducts and promotes circulation. This process helps flush out waste materials and ensures a healthy flow of secretions. But when ejaculation becomes infrequent, as often happens during long periods of celibacy or sexual inactivity, the system can become stagnant. This stagnation may lead to a condition known as congestive prostatitis. While the name might not sound alarming, for those who endure it, the experience can be profoundly uncomfortable. Symptoms might include a lingering pelvic ache, a sense of pressure near the bladder, or even pain or difficulty during urination. These signs can mimic the distress of a urinary tract infection, but without any bacterial cause. And while non-infectious, the effects are far from benign. They can rob a man of his ease, confidence, and sense of connection with his body. The good news is that relief is within reach. Regular ejaculation can play a crucial role in alleviating this discomfort. By keeping the ducts clear and the fluids moving, it helps the prostate remain balanced and active. It's a simple, natural way to reduce the risk of congestion and preserve comfort and function. But prostate health extends beyond avoiding physical discomfort. Aging introduces a new set of challenges, silent, creeping threats like inflammation and cellular degradation. Prostatitis, particularly in its non-bacterial form, is a frequent visitor in older men. This inflammation, often driven by oxidative stress and the body's natural wear and tear, can lead to persistent discomfort and gradually undermine prostate function. Here again, regular ejaculation serves as a supportive ally. It promotes circulation, minimizes stagnation, and may even help combat inflammation. While it is not a magic bullet, it is a valuable piece of a larger wellness puzzle, one that also includes mindful eating, active living, and an attentive relationship with your body. Think of your diet as a toolkit, each food choice a strategic move toward better health. Tomatoes, rich in lycopene, offer powerful antioxidant protection. Berries, green tea, and leafy greens can shield delicate tissues from cellular damage. These everyday foods, often overlooked, are potent defenders of not only the prostate, but the body's broader systems. Every bite, every intentional habit is an investment, not just in your health, but in your vitality, your clarity, and your freedom to live well. Prostate health is not simply about avoiding disease. It is a declaration that your body matters, your well-being matters, and that aging does not mean decline. It means evolution. Each decision you make today, whether large or small, is part of a much greater narrative. You are not just maintaining an organ. You are nurturing your spirit, honoring your life, and choosing to thrive in every season. Let's explore a dimension that is often ignored, yet deeply impactful: the role of hormones in prostate health. The prostate is profoundly responsive to male sex hormones, especially testosterone, and its more potent counterpart, dihydrotestosterone, DHT. While these hormones are celebrated for defining male traits, like muscle mass, libido, and energy levels, they are also intricate regulators of prostate activity. With age, hormone levels fluctuate, creating a hormonal environment that can encourage prostate enlargement or dysfunction. This is where the act of ejaculation intersects with hormonal balance. Fascinatingly, research has shown that ejaculation may cause a temporary drop in DHT levels. This brief hormonal shift, though fleeting, could ease the constant stimulation on prostate tissues, offering subtle but meaningful relief. It's another reason to view masturbation not just as a physical act, but as a health-promoting habit. Again, it's no silver bullet, but as part of a multifaceted lifestyle approach, it can offer measurable support. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for your attention, your curiosity, and your commitment to your health. Please comment with the number 1 to let me know you're still here with me on this journey. Your presence matters. Your health matters. And you are not alone. Now, let's delve into a subject of even greater emotional weight: prostate cancer. Prostate cancer, a phrase that evokes fear, uncertainty, and a sudden awareness of our mortality. For many men, particularly those in their later years, it stands as a looming specter, one of the most common and potentially life-altering diseases they may face. It is not just a medical condition, it's a deeply personal disruption that can challenge everything from a man's sense of physical integrity to his emotional stability. It's a topic that deserves both gravity and hope, because while its prevalence is concerning, the potential for proactive prevention and empowered action is stronger than ever. And perhaps one of the most fascinating areas of emerging research is the link between ejaculation frequency and reduced prostate cancer risk, a connection that not only offers practical insight, but reframes the entire conversation around male self-care and sexuality. Studies, while still evolving, have pointed to a compelling correlation. Men who ejaculate more frequently may reduce their likelihood of developing prostate cancer. While the biological mechanisms remain partially speculative, researchers believe this process is not just about pleasure or temporary relief. It's about detoxification. Ejaculation, in this context, acts as a natural cleansing mechanism, potentially helping to flush out carcinogenic substances and metabolic waste that might otherwise accumulate in prostatic fluid. Over time, these lingering elements could pose threats, subtly contributing to cellular stress or mutation. In flushing the system regularly, a man is not only maintaining comfort, he may be reducing the long-term exposure of his prostate to these harmful agents. This is where biology meets self-awareness and habit. It's where ancient taboos dissolve into science-backed wellness, and where understanding the body becomes an act of love, not shame. Still, it's crucial to hold this information with nuance. Masturbation, while beneficial, is not a magical shield against cancer. It is not a standalone solution nor a substitute for medical oversight. Rather, it should be woven into a comprehensive lifestyle of care, a lifestyle that honors the interconnectedness of body, mind, and spirit. That holistic view includes not only regular sexual activity, but also a balanced diet, rich in nutrients and antioxidants, consistent physical exercise, and regular screening through trusted medical channels. Together, these create a synergistic web of protection, a lifestyle armor that supports the body at every level, giving men the tools to walk into their future with clarity and confidence. This is where the importance of the PSA test, prostate-specific antigen screening, enters the discussion. For those with a family history of prostate issues or who begin experiencing symptoms such as frequent urination, discomfort, or changes in sexual function, these tests are not mere formalities. They are lifelines. Early detection can mean the difference between a manageable condition and a more serious diagnosis. And yet, many men avoid these tests out of fear, embarrassment, or the cultural conditioning that tells them to be silent about their bodies. But silence is not strength. It is vulnerability. masked as toughness. Real strength lies in listening to your body, respecting its signs, and having the courage to act before crisis strikes. PSA tests are not just about identifying illness. They are about seizing opportunity, embracing foresight, and choosing a future of agency rather than reaction. But let's shift the lens once again, because prostate health is not just about numbers, tests, or statistics. It is also about intimacy, about the relationship a man has with his own body, and how that relationship can become a powerful tool for healing and awareness. Through Masturbation, men gain a direct connection to their own physiology. It's in those quiet, private moments, often dismissed as insignificant, that awareness blooms. You notice when something feels slightly off, when sensations shift, when texture changes, or when discomfort emerges. These subtle observations are not trivial. They are your body's internal communication system, a soft but insistent whisper saying, "Pay attention." And when you do, when you take note, when you follow up, when you ask questions or seek medical advice, you are practicing a form of self-respect that echoes far beyond the physical realm. Too often, society has taught men to ignore their bodies unless something goes terribly wrong. We're conditioned to endure, to power through, to minimize pain or discomfort. But this outdated script is not serving us. It is hurting us. Being attuned to your body is not weakness. It is wisdom. And Masturbation, approached consciously, becomes a powerful practice of self-monitoring and self-awareness. It is not just an act of release, it is an act of attunement, a way to keep the connection between mind and body alive and clear. And in that clarity, we find a deeper truth, that our health is not separate from our lives. It is our life, but the benefits don't stop there. Beyond the realm of physical health, regular self-intimacy can be emotionally liberating. For many men, taking care of their prostate is also a journey into emotional wholeness. When you choose to honor this part of yourself, not as a secretive indulgence, but as a mindful, caring act, you begin to rewrite the narrative you've been given about your body, your masculinity, and your worth. You begin to see that your body is not a machine to be pushed beyond limits. It is a living, breathing companion that craves attention, touch, and understanding. And in that realization, confidence grows, self-worth expands, intimacy deepens, relationships flourish. When a man cares for his prostate, he is also caring for his emotional foundation, his sexual expression, and his capacity to love and connect. This brings us to a vital truth. Your sexuality is not a compartmentalized piece of your life. It is the thread that weaves through your sense of identity, joy, vitality, and connection. And like anything sacred, it deserves care, curiosity, and openness. Masturbation, when approached mindfully, can become more than routine. It can evolve into ritual. It can be a celebration of self, a moment of peace in a chaotic world, a way to pause, breathe, and return to yourself. By making space for this practice, not as a last resort, but as a form of care, you give yourself permission to be whole, to exist beyond productivity, beyond performance, beyond shame. Now, let's talk about how to elevate this practice into something truly transformative. Too often, Masturbation is approached hastily, hidden under layers of secrecy, guilt, or mechanical repetition. But what if, instead, it became a ritual of presence? Imagine setting aside time for yourself, unrushed, uninterrupted, creating an environment that feels safe and affirming. Perhaps you begin with a warm bath or a few minutes of deep, steady breathing. Maybe you light a candle, play calming music, or simply sit with your thoughts before touching your body. This is not self-indulgence. This is self-honoring. Creating such a space is a radical act of care, especially in a world that often tells men to suppress, to numb, or to ignore their emotional and physical needs. In this state of relaxation and acceptance, the act of self-pleasure becomes a doorway to deeper awareness. You notice more, you feel more, you hear the messages your body sends, whether it's pleasure or discomfort, ease or resistance. Every sensation becomes information, guidance to better understand and support your health. And from this space of conscious attention, even hygiene takes on greater importance. Washing your hands before and after, choosing the right lubricants, such as water-based or silicone-based products that are gentle on aging skin, these small gestures become meaningful rituals of protection and respect. These details may seem minor, but they form the foundation of a healthy, safe, and affirming self-care practice. It's also worth noting that variety, like mindfulness, breathes new life into this experience. Habits, while comfortable, can become mechanical, dulling the richness of sensation and emotional resonance. By exploring new approaches, different environments, techniques, or even integrating breathing and mindfulness, you reawaken curiosity. You reclaim the full spectrum of pleasure and awareness, preventing dependency or disconnection. And most importantly, you stay present. You stay engaged with your body in a way that is not passive, but empowered. This is also the perfect moment to introduce a complementary practice that is gaining well-deserved attention. Pelvic floor exercises, often known as Kegel exercises. These simple movements performed discreetly at any time, whether sitting, standing, or even during your daily commute, offer immense benefits. Strengthening the pelvic floor muscles can support urinary control, improve erectile function, and even intensify orgasmic experience. For older men in particular, these exercises are invaluable, not just for enhancing sexual health, but also for reinforcing physical integrity in everyday life. Over time, Kegels build a sense of control and confidence that radiates into every area of being. But as always, no conversation about health is complete without addressing the role of nutrition. What you feed your body is not separate from how it functions. It is, in fact, the cornerstone of vitality. When it comes to prostate health, certain foods offer profound protective effects. Tomatoes, thanks to their high lycopene content, are particularly effective in reducing inflammation and supporting optimal function. Nuts, fatty fish, rich in omega-3s, and dark leafy greens contribute to hormonal balance and cellular integrity. Meanwhile, processed foods, sugary snacks, and trans fats should be minimized as they contribute to inflammation, weight gain, and hormonal disruption. Think of your plate as a mirror. What you place on it reflects your values, your care, and your commitment to yourself. This holistic picture, mindfulness, movement, nutrition, medical care, and emotional openness, forms the ecosystem in which your prostate, and indeed your entire being, can thrive. When you treat your body with intention, when you honor your needs rather than suppress them, you send a message not just to yourself, but to the world, that your health, your pleasure, your peace, they matter. And when men begin to believe that, truly and deeply, everything begins to shift. The stigma dissolves, the shame fades, and what remains is a vibrant, empowered path forward. Let us now journey into one of the most essential, yet often unspoken, aspects of this conversation, the emotional and psychological resonance of a healthy prostate and a fulfilled, conscious connection to your own sexuality. When a man chooses to care for his body not out of fear, but out of reverence, something shifts at a foundational level. He no longer moves through life reacting to health crises or symptoms. Instead, he becomes an active participant in his vitality. Sexual and prostate health is not just about staving off disease. It is about choosing to engage with yourself in a way that honors your full humanity. And when that choice is made intentionally, it ripples outward, bolstering self-esteem, improving relationships, and creating a more balanced emotional life. It's easy to think of these matters as purely physical, but their influence extends into how you see yourself in the mirror, how you carry yourself in the world, and how you connect with the people you love. Caring for this part of yourself builds a sense of confidence that is quiet but unshakable. It whispers, "I know who I am, and I know what I need." And that sense of self-knowing becomes especially powerful as we step into deeper discussions, like understanding early signs of prostate concerns, exploring the benefits of pelvic strengthening, and acknowledging the role that emotional well-being plays in our overall sexual health. As we've previously explored, masturbation, when practiced mindfully, can be more than a means to relieve congestion. It can be a gateway into better understanding your body's rhythms, but this is just the beginning. There is an entire universe of practices, habits, and small decisions that, when woven together, create a lifestyle of wellness, pleasure, and longevity. It's time to bring more intention into these moments of self-intimacy, not only to maximize physical benefits, but to deepen your relationship with your body and spirit. Too often, masturbation is rushed, treated as something to hide, something done quickly in secrecy, often accompanied by guilt or followed by disconnection. But what happens when you strip away those layers of shame and secrecy? What unfolds when you treat this act as a conscious, deliberate ritual of care? Imagine, instead of something to get over with, it becomes a nourishing pause in your week, a dedicated moment to reconnect with yourself. Begin by setting the tone. Allow yourself a space that feels safe, comfortable, uninterrupted. Perhaps this means turning off your phone, dimming the lights, or simply taking a few deep breaths before beginning. Let this become a signal to your nervous system that you are safe here, that this time is for you, that there is no rush. This shift in environment, even if subtle, is powerful. It moves the experience out of the realm of habit and into the realm of healing. In that space, touch becomes more than just stimulation. It becomes a form of listening, a way of checking in. Are you experiencing any discomfort today? Any shifts in sensation or sensitivity? Any tightness or areas of numbness? Rather than ignoring these signs, this is a chance to pay attention. Your body is always communicating. The question is, are you quiet enough to hear it? These insights, gathered not from charts or tests, but from your own sensations, form one of the most powerful tools in preventive care. The act of masturbation, done with awareness, transforms from something unconscious into a sacred dialogue between you and your body. Hygiene, too, becomes part of this respect. Before and after your self-care routine, washing your hands isn't just a practical step. It's a declaration of reverence. It prevents infections and demonstrates to yourself that your health matters. Likewise, the type of lubrication you choose should reflect this intention. As we age, our skin and tissues may become more sensitive, and choosing lubricants that are water-based or silicone-based ensures that you're supporting your body with what it needs, not what is most convenient. Every detail, each step you take in preparing your space, choosing your tools, and showing up for yourself becomes a thread in the fabric of self-respect. Mindful masturbation is also about releasing yourself from the chains of guilt and outdated beliefs. Many men carry a heavy emotional inheritance, messages from childhood, religion, culture, that suggest their sexuality is something to be hidden or controlled. That pleasure is shameful. That desire is dangerous. These beliefs linger in the background, shaping behavior in ways that are often unconscious. But they do not serve your health. They do not serve your growth. You are allowed, more than that, you are invited to let go of these ideas and embrace your sexuality as a vibrant, essential, and natural part of who you are. Masturbation in this light is not selfish. It is self-acknowledgement. It is a way of saying, I am alive, I am whole, I deserve to feel good in my body. And variety, true, curious, intentional variety, is a way to keep this experience both fulfilling and sustainable. If you find yourself caught in patterns, in repetition, in the dull hum of routine, let this be your invitation to change things up. You might choose a different environment, try new techniques, or simply shift your focus from performance to presence. Consider bringing in breathwork or relaxation techniques before or during the act. Not only can this deepen pleasure, but it connects the physical sensations to your emotional and mental states, making the experience more complete and satisfying. Remember, sexual health is not a task to complete. It is a relationship to nurture. And like any relationship, it requires curiosity, effort, and change. But self-pleasure is just one branch of the tree. Let's return to a vital supporting pillar, your pelvic floor. These muscles, often overlooked, are the silent supporters of your sexual and urinary function. They hold up your bladder, support your prostate, and play a major role in sexual performance. When you strengthen them through Kegel exercises, you build a foundation of control and responsiveness. These exercises are simple. You contract the pelvic muscles, hold for a few seconds, then release. Done regularly, they can improve orgasm strength, prevent leakage, and give you greater confidence in your sexual interactions. The beauty of Kegels is their invisibility. They can be done anywhere, at any time. In a meeting, on a walk, even while reading or relaxing. And yet, their impact is profound. As we look at the whole picture, we cannot forget the fuel your body depends on, nutrition. Food is not just sustenance, it is medicine, especially for the prostate. Your dietary choices are, in many ways, your first line of defense. Tomatoes, rich in lycopene, help combat oxidative stress. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower contain compounds that support hormonal balance and detoxification. Fatty fish, such as salmon, provide anti-inflammatory omega-3s, while nuts and seeds offer essential minerals like zinc and selenium, both critical for prostate function and testosterone regulation. The key is consistency. Making these foods part of your regular meals, not just occasional additions, creates an internal environment where your prostate can thrive. Equally important is avoiding the inflammatory triggers, sugary processed snacks, trans fats, excessive alcohol, and refined carbs. These not only disrupt hormonal balance, but accelerate cellular aging, increasing vulnerability to illness. Eating well is an act of love, a daily conscious offering to your future self. And let's not minimize the power of a positive, open attitude toward your own sexuality. The way you relate to your sexual self impacts every aspect of your emotional life. When you approach your body with shame or fear, you create barriers to intimacy, to joy, to freedom. But when you allow yourself to feel without judgment, to explore, to ask questions, to be present, something unlocks. You begin to feel more connected, not only to your body, but to your entire life. Relationships become more honest. Emotions become more accessible. Your sense of identity becomes fuller. And if ever you feel uncertain, know that you are not alone. Speak with someone, a trusted friend, your partner, or a health professional. There is courage in seeking clarity, in asking for guidance, in building community around these often isolated experiences. Of course, even with all of these practices, regular medical checkups remain non-negotiable. No matter how good you feel, no matter how healthy your lifestyle, periodic evaluations are essential. Your body can be resilient and wise, but it still needs support from the outside, from trained professionals who can spot potential issues early. Masturbation can play a helpful role here too, as a tool for self-check-in. During moments of self-intimacy, be alert to changes in semen consistency, volume, color, or any unusual sensations. These signals, though small, could be your body's early way of asking for help. Acting on them promptly is not overreacting. It is wisdom in motion. In the end, this conversation has never been just about avoiding disease or fixing dysfunction. It is about connection, about living in harmony with your body and honoring the sacredness of being alive. When you approach your health, and your sexuality as something worth cherishing, not controlling, you step into a new reality, one where aging doesn't mean decline, where intimacy doesn't fade with time, but deepens, where your vitality is not measured only by performance, but by presence, by confidence, by joy. So as we close this chapter, I invite you to reflect on what resonated most. Was there a new perspective that opened your eyes? A practice you're inspired to try? A habit you now see in a new light? Let this not be the end, but the beginning of a richer, more empowered path forward. Share the insight that landed with you most in the comments below. I'd love to know what you're taking with you. And if this conversation offered value, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Together, we're building a space where these vital discussions can flourish, free from judgment, full of compassion. Your health, your joy, and your presence in this life matter. Let's walk this path of wholeness, strength, and wisdom together.